I now recognize the representative from Illinois, Ms. Ramirez, for her 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to also stay for the second panel. At our first Homeland Security Full Committee hearing a couple of weeks ago, I brought this graphic with me. And as you read here, Elon Musk. That is what I believe to my core is the biggest threat to our national security. This is the Committee on Homeland. And since then, I've asked the members of this committee, who is supposed to do everything in their power to protect the homeland, to really take seriously the threat that Trump, Musk, and his army of unaccountable tech bros represent every day. So you can imagine my disappointment, not really, to see that instead, the Republicans on the subcommittee have decided to throw their Lord and Savior a parade in the form of a hearing. And while their Lord and Savior changes from time to time, yesterday it was Donald Trump, today is Musk, tomorrow might be the next billionaire, although this guy is about to become a trillionaire off the backs of working people. It's something that's very clear for me is that Republicans have willingly given away their power to conduct oversight over our agencies and the dangers that these unelected billionaires have on our security. So you see, my Republican colleagues and their hyper-partisan witnesses sitting here today have completely ignored that the waste in our agencies is the millions of dollars spent on the DOGE army of unqualified workers stealing our data and firing dedicated, qualified public servants. The fraud in our government is Elon Musk, whose greatest achievement on efficiency is a social media platform that crashed multiple times yesterday. The abuse is in our nation is a power grab with which Donald Trump imposes his authoritarian agenda. They don't have any legal authority to take sledgehammers to the services and programs that working people depend on. And by the way, Congress authorized, we authorized, but Republicans have allowed it to happen anyway. So, Mr. Roth, I want to ask you the questions today. As DHS's former Inspector General, could you share with us what are the potential threats posed by an unvetted DOGE employee with little to no government experience plugging into DHS's information systems and databases?
So I can't talk about the specifics of exactly what DOGE is doing because obviously I'm not involved any longer in the government. But I will tell you that the IT systems within DHS and really across the government, according to the DHS's reviews of those, are extraordinarily sensitive, are being targeted by foreign adversaries in a way that is not represented in private networks, for example. And you heard the testimony of the GAO witness on the first panel talking about the vulnerabilities that exist, the documented vulnerabilities that exist in access controls. So having an unknown person or an unvetted person have access in ways that you don't have a full understanding of is extraordinarily dangerous and represents a significant vulnerability in IT systems.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Roth. And I think in part, when you said you're not quite sure what their authority or what they're doing is, I think it's actually the concern that a number of us have here. I've said this in Veteran Affairs Committee, and I'm going to say it here. I want to know, what does DOGE have access to? Who authorized it? Who are they talking to? What data do they have? How is it that they can have sensitive data to our national security and that it go completely unchecked? This committee, this subcommittee specifically, is responsible for oversight, accountability, and investigation. And we've already seen the effects of having unqualified people accessing our data and making decisions in our agency. Because look, the day after the DOGE's website was launched, it suffered a security breach, putting our sensitive data in the hands of anyone with a computer and access to the internet. And how can we forget when DOGE fired more than 300 staffers from the National Nuclear Security Administration? Yeah, that's the agency that's tasked with managing the nation's nuclear stockpile. Or the several employees who are working on the federal government's response to H5N1 avian flu outbreak. DOGE doesn't have a great track record, and whether it's due to stupidity or hatred, at this point, a better name for DOGE would be the Department of Obstruction and Gross Errors. I really hope that this committee takes the threat of DOGE and Elon Musk seriously, and I intend to work with all of my colleagues to do that. With that, Chairman, I yield back.